Peace, family. Out here on my walk and always thinking, reflecting on our situation, on the situation that we find ourselves in as a people. So as I'm out here walking, I'm reflecting on some of the things and some of the topics that's been coming up and some of the high emotion around these conversations, And one of the things I was considering is, what do we need for liberation on a more practical, realistic level? Again, I think sometimes we throw out really interesting hypotheticals, but let's really look at ourselves in the reality that we find ourselves in currently. And what is it that we need currently? Now, one of the things I'm considering is this concept about ideology versus STEM and all these type of things. Is we need it all, as I said before. However, what do we need right now? Right now, not hypotheticals. Next year, if we end up on a deserted island, what is it that we need right now? One thing for sure we understand is there has been a war waged on our minds, how we think. And if someone controls our minds, it controls our behinds and how we move. Hence, I would have to agree that ideology is important. But this does not discount that there's going to be different stages of what we call liberation, right? So there's going to be different stages, different levels. We're going to evolve to need things more readily as we reach different stages of the liberation. So absolutely, we're going to need engineering. Absolutely, we need science already, because science, we need to know about the science of the mind. We need to know how the mind works. We have to know the science of education, how education works, how people are best educated, how people can develop an ideology, which is a set of ideas, concepts, theories on what have you. So again, I think sometimes, again, we think very emotionally when we're having these debates, and the reality is we need all of them, but what do we currently need? And I think if I had to really put my 2 cents in, ideology is important. How we think is important. And I'm saying that is what we currently need at the moment in the conditions that we find ourselves under. That does not mean that someday that we won't need, I'm about to say something that I will regret later, but that we won't need these other aspects. So it's not a this or that type of conversation. It's a this and conversation. But what do we need right now? What y'all say in the chat? What y'all say? What do we need right now? I'm not, but really, I think we have realistic conversations. We won't have these conversations that are where we're warring against one another. Rather, we try to understand what each other is truly saying, and we don't have to create these hypotheticals that are not necessarily realistic where we find ourselves at currently. I understand sometimes we all feel attacked, especially when we have strengths or we have skill sets or we have what have you. We feel attacked because we invested lots of time in our education. We invested lots of times in the way that we study. But again, I think it's important for us not to feel so attacked, but really try to understand exactly where people are coming from. So again, I'm going to say, I'm putting it on the record right now, ideology is very important. Science is really important, which is a part of ideology. And if, it's